Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to our Shirin Sfasemes Parshas Achrei Mois Kedoshim. The pasuk tells us in Parshas Achrei Mois, Ushmarti esku koisai ve'es mishpatai asher yasa oisa ma'adam v'chai behem. And a person should go ahead and watch the chukim and mishpatim of the Rabban Shalom asher yasa oisa ma'adam, that the person goes ahead and does them v'chai behem, and a person will go ahead and live with the mitzvahs. Zok Heilige Sfasemes and the year Taf Reish Mem Zayin in the name of his grandfather, the Heilige Chedush Rim Schus Yagad Aleinu. What does it mean? V'chai behem. Obviously, Chazal explain what it means. Al pi halacha v'chai behem. But says this Sfasemes, what's the avodah of v'chai behem? What does it mean to do mitzvahs in a way of v'chai behem? She yeniach ha'adam ikra chiyas b'Torah u'mitzvahs. That when a person goes there and does Torah and mitzvahs, he doesn't simply go ahead and do them mitzvahs anashim elamadam in a robotic fashion, simply fulfilling the mitzvah. Rather, a person goes ahead and puts all of his chiyas into the mitzvah that he's doing. That his whole vitality, all of Ramach and Shasa, every single part of the person, the intellect, the emotion, the action of a person, are all intimately involved in the mitzvah that a person is doing, and a person is v'chai b'hem. At the moment that a person is going in and doing a mitzvah, all of his chiyas, all of his life is placed into the mitzvah that he's doing. Says this Fasemes, this is why we find that Chazal tell us that a oisik b'mitzvah is part of a mitzvah. Because the proper way to be doing a mitzvah is to be oisik b'mitzvah, to go ahead and delve into the mitzvah, to be inside of the mitzvah, to put all of one's chiyas into the mitzvah, so much so that it's impossible to do anything else at that moment. A oisik b'mitzvah is patam in a mitzvah. If a person's oisik in a mitzvah, you can't go ahead and do another mitzvah at that moment, because all of your life needs to be put into that mitzvah. Every cheluk of your ramach evarim and shesag gidim needs to be put into that mitzvah. And therefore, at the moment that you're oisik b'mitzvah, you're patam in a mitzvah, which is why this Fasama says as well, we find that Chazal say that a person should not make mitzvahs chavilos, not to go ahead and to try to be makayim many mitzvahs at once through one action. Why? Says this Fasama for the same reason. Because when a person does a mitzvah, it needs to be with every part of you. A person needs to put his full chiyas into the mitzvah, and therefore, when a person's putting his full chiyas into the mitzvah, it's going to be impossible to be able to be makayim. Another thing at the same time, to make mitzvahs chavilos, to be oisik mitzvah, patam in a mitzvah, because every part of a person needs to be involved in the mitzvah. But perhaps we can go ahead and add to what his grandfather Chedush Rim said to be able to explain a little bit more what it means v'chai b'hem. Not just that a person goes ahead and puts his full chiyas in them, but perhaps it also means, says this Fasemes, the opposite as well. That a person has the opportunity in this world to decide where his life force is coming from, where his sustenance is coming from, what is giving him the ability to be able to be alive. As the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos tells us in Perek Vav, Mishnah Vav, that somebody who's involved in Torah in the proper way, the Torah has the ability to give a person life, not just in Olam Haba, which is obvious to all of us that the only real life in Olam Haba is Ruchnius, but says the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos that a person can go ahead and receive their life in this world, the vitality in this world, from where? From the Torah. Says the Sfas Emes, a person has the choice to decide in this world, what are you living for? Are you living like the Risham live, that their main goal and their main purpose in living in this world is to go out and to fill up their physical bodies with all of the pleasures that they're interested in getting them becoming involved in, with all of the worldly pursuits that they're running after, with achila and shtia? If so, if that's what a person's running after, then that means that's where a person's getting their chiyas from. You're getting your chiyas from those things that you're running after, those things that you're excited about, those things that you're living for, is ultimately what's going to also be the source of your life. If a person is chalila running after achila and shtia, havli olam hazeh, a person's running after the trivial things, the trivial pursuits of this world, says as Fasamas, that means that the chiyas of a person, the life of a person, is coming from those things as well. But tzaddikim are living in this world. The main reason why they're here is kadei l'kayim mitzvahs v'torasai. The reason why they're here in this world is not for physical pursuits, not to go ahead and to give themselves physical pleasure, but rather they're here in order to be makayim Torah and mitzvahs. Then that means that automatically the Torah and the mitzvahs become their chiyas, as the pasuk says, kihem chayenu daika. That kihem chayenu va'orichimenu, Torah itself is a tzchayim ilmachazikim ba. That a person who lives in this world and his object of living in this world is to do Torah and mitzvahs, to be involved in avodas Hashem. That means that that's what's giving them their chiyas. It doesn't just give them chiyas in olam haba, but it gives them chiyas in olam hazeh. It's able to go ahead and give them chiyas in this world. Says this Fasamis, it's totally in your avodah. You can go ahead and do the same mitzvahs And you can go out and do the same Torah, but that's not your goal in life. That's not the reason why you're here. And your real reason why, Chalila, a person can say, I'm here, is to involve myself in Olam Hazadika things. But a person can go out and do that same amount of Torah and mitzvahs. But a person can say, Rabban Hashem, I'm doing them, and this is my main goal. This is my main purpose. This is kavua. This is the main thing, the main reason why I'm here. And everything else I'm doing is just tafel. That a person recognizes this is my main object of living in this world. If a person goes in and does that, it's up to you to decide what you want your sustenance to come from. Do you want it to come from Torah and mitzvahs, or do you want it to come from physical food and physical drinks? Says this Fasemis, it's up to you to decide. And that's what the pasuk means, Asher Yasa Oisa Adam, that it's up to you to make those things the main thing. It's up to you to go out and to say, you know what I'm living for? You know what I'm living from? I'm living from Torah and mitzvahs, because that's what I'm living for. That's my main goal, my main purpose in life. The Torah that I learn, the mitzvahs that I do, that avodas Hashem, the gemilas chasadim that I do, that is the main and the ikar of my life, and everything else is just a tafel. When a person goes out and does that, then kehem chayenu, that becomes the ikar avoida of a person, and that is what gives a person their chiyas in this world. As Fasemis brings down in other places, that the same way we find that by Moshe Rabbeinu, when he went up to Shemayim, he came down and he said that he spent 40 days and 40 nights in Shemayim, lechem lo yechelti umayam lo shasisi, that he didn't eat any bread and any water. But says this Fasemis, although he didn't eat any physical bread and water, he went ahead and received his sustenance during those 40 days and 40 nights when he was in Shemayim from the ruchnius of the Torah that the Rabban Hashem is giving over to him. Says this Fasemis, an unbelievable thing. Every single person and every single generation has the same ability to be able to go ahead and to receive their sustenance from the Torah and from the mitzvahs that they're doing. Maybe, yes, like Moshe Rabbeinu, we can't reach that madrega of taka, not eating any physical food or drinking any drinks, but we can go ahead and say that what's giving us the chiyas is the same thing that gave Moshe Rabbeinu his chiyas when he was in Shemayim. That the Torah is kehem chayin va'urichimenu, that the mitzvahs are kehem chayin va'urichimenu. To be able to go ahead and to be able to recognize that lechem min Shemayim, to recognize that our real sustenance is from spiritual things. That is the ikra avodah. Sher yasa oisa adam v'chai b'hem shakol toli. It's up to you. If you believe and you know that Torah and chiyas, Torah and mitzvahs are your chayenu and are your arichimenu, are your life, a person can live in this world and the sustenance that's giving his physical body in Olam Hazeh the ability to be able to go ahead and to continue is not the food that he's eating and not the drinks that he's drinking, but rather it's the Torah and the mitzvahs that he's involved in. It's the lechem and the mazah, the lechem and mayim that are the spiritual lechem and mayim that are giving him his sustenance. But it's all up to us. It's all up to us how much chiyas we go ahead and how much importance we go ahead and attach to the Torah and mitzvahs that we're doing. If we recognize that the main part of our life and the main goal of our life is to go ahead and to bring down Torah and mitzvahs down to this world, to recognize that our avodah is to live with Torah and mitzvahs, then we can go ahead and decide. We can go ahead and declare that that's where we're going to get our sustenance from. But Chalila Fakir, if we say Rabbanu Shalom, that's not the ikar. That's part of the things that we do. That's part of our daily routine. The fact that we're involved in Torah mitzvahs, but that's not the ikar. That's not why we're here. Then unfortunately, we have the ability to get our sustenance from basic food and basic drinks, to be able to get our sustenance from physical things. It's up to us. Asher Yasa Oisa Adam Oz V'chai B'hem. Do it properly. Do it in the right way. Do it with the full chiyas. Recognize, if I do it with chiyas and I recognize this gives me chiyas, then this could be my sustenance in Olam Hazeh, and then memela a person zeicha to v'chai b'hem. Shaydenu yispashtet the oris ha'olam gam ba'olam hazeh. Person can draw down the ha'oris of Torah and mitzvahs down to Olam Hazeh to be able to give him the sustenance, just like the man, just like Moshe Rabbeinu when up to Shemayim. This is our avodah. Hashem should help. We should be zeicha to recognize what's really giving us life. The Torah and mitzvahs that we learn is the real source of life. That the Ramach Evarim and Shasag Gidim that we have that are connected to the Taryag mitzvahs is what really gives us life, and we're able to recognize that and able to live that way and able to do the Torah and mitzvahs in that way of a chai b'hem, putting our full chiyas into it. Then Mitzvah Hashem will be zeicha to live like a Moshe Rabbeinu, to live in a way that we recognize that everything's coming from Torah and mitzvahs. That a yid sustenance is not the same as the nations of the world. That a yid sustenance is coming from a ruchniistic place, from Torah and mitzvahs, and Mitzvah Hashem to be zeicha, to be able to go ahead and to fill ourselves up, lechem Torah, to go ahead and to put the Torah into our innards, to go ahead and to recognize that's our real mazon, the mazon ruchni, and Mitzvah Hashem to live a life filled with ruchnias and filled with Torah and mitzvahs. Have a great Shabbos.